What's up guys, and welcome back to Iron Mustang. Today's video we're going to be swapping out the gas tank and the sanding unit on a 68 coupe. It's a quick project, let's get to it.
Up there, we're going to pull out all of the screws holding the tank in. Next, we're going to pull off this little rubber connector that holds onto our filler neck. And luckily for me, I pretty much ran this tank dry right before I decided to swap this tank out, so this should be a pretty easy, not so messy project.
Alright, so I'm going to remove this. I've already loosened up the connections. Make sure you're wearing some safety glasses so you don't get any gas in your eyes if anything drips down. And I got to take this little electrical connection off the sanding unit.
Now, if you got a lot of gas in here and you were stubborn and didn't siphon it out, this is a two-person job, but I'm pretty much running on E, so pretty confident I can swing it out myself.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and scrape off all the gunk around the edge here and just put a fresh coat of bed liner.
So for whatever reason, Ford used to like to put some nasty ass tar around all their seams. We are going to scrape all that crap off and put seam sealer.
So it's been about 110 lately. I'm not going to bother with all these side areas. I just went through and prepped back where the gas tank's going to go. So now I got to go through and
Put some seam sealer on. I'm going to put some little rust resistant primer and then some bed liner. So I'm going to let that sit for about 30 minutes. Then I'm going to come back with a coat of primer.
I'll finish up the rest of the gas tank when the weather's a little nicer, but that'll get the tank back in and get the car back on the road. Alright, so we're going to get the sanding unit put in real quick. You could do this flat on the ground with the sanding unit port facing up. This is a lot easier. I've done it underneath the car before. It's a pain in the butt. Okay, so I'm going to put the seal in right here. This can only go one way. These two tabs right here correspond to the two tabs right there. You gotta be a little careful. This might take you a couple shots, but get it lined up. Get it lined up here. Make sure that stays in place. Tabs in there. And that's simple. Now we're gonna put the ring on here. Now, give you guys a note that you should take into consideration real quick. One, those seals are a one-time use. If I seal this on here, you need to take it off for some reason, that seal and ring is toast. Get a new one. They compress the first time you put them on, and they will leak if you try to reuse them. Also, if you are doing this in a tank that has had gas in it, do not use a metal screwdriver. It can make a spark. Either use a brass punch or the block of wood. This is a brand new tank, so I'm going to do it this way. That's simple. Done. But like I said, you run a risk of causing a spark, and you do not want that. A little block of wood does just fine if you don't have a brass punch. So these little clips that are right here, they have to go in before you drop the fuel tank in.
make sure you reconnect your sanding unit and inspect your hose here. If you got any cracking, it's good time to replace it. Mine was cracked, so luckily I had a little spare piece in the garage, and tighten everything back up, you're good to go.
And here's our finished product from the top side. Now I'm going to point out, I'm not going to put this on right now because I realized this was a little more rusty than I thought inside. I'm going to replace this before I go through the trouble hooking it back up. But that's a simple process. If you got it off, you can get it back on. All in all, turned out pretty good. You know, I'd like to have taken the time to do the rest of this trunk, but unlike my other project, I'm trying to keep this one in a running condition most of the time so I can still have some fun with it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.